Right guys, what is going on? BusterBarnes here, bringing you my match preview of Chelsea's game against West Ham at home, coming after two pretty depressing and draining away defeats to Everton and Wolves respectively. Hopefully we can bounce back. I mean, it's crucial that we do so. I will be giving you guys the team news of this game as well as my predicted lineup and my predicted scoreline as always. Please, as always as well, to be sure to leave a like and comment down below your guys' predicted lineups and scores, and as always do subscribe to the channel for more Chelsea FC content. My review for this game will be up the day after it does take place, so do stay tuned for that. Hopefully it will be after a much needed win, but it's going to be hard. West Ham are on some decent form at the moment. I believe they can actually overtake us in the table if they win this game, so they'll be playing for it. I think Antonio might or might not be fit for them, so hopefully he's not fit to start, as we know how rampant he likes to run around us, as previously shown in games last season. We actually lost both games to West Ham last season, so I guess we know what they're all about. Hopefully we can prepare for it better, especially with the now appearances of Hudson-Odoi and Ziyech, who will hopefully be available to be on the bench. I mean, I'd love it if they were available to start, but I just don't think that's likely. We do seem a little bit more cautious when it comes to reintegrating players into the team, so that doesn't mean that there's maybe going to be some players starting this game that we maybe wouldn't want to see, but I will be getting into that. But that was pretty much the team news for players available. One player that's not going to be available is Reece James. A pretty big blow. I mean, his backup Azpilicueta is still great, but I mean, considering that Reece James has probably been our best player so far this season, missing him, hopefully not for too long. I've seen some mixed reports of it could be serious, it could be a minor, it's about a knee injury, maybe he'll need surgery, maybe he won't. I believe the injury did occur in the Wolves game and it just sort of flared up in training. Hopefully it's a speedy recovery for him, but what all the reports have been saying in unison is that he will not be available for this game against West Ham. It'll be interesting to see if he's not available for the next few games. We do only have Arsenal and Aston Villa, I believe, 2 days apart, so you'd think that we'd probably have to rotate the entire team bar maybe Mendy and Zuma, so it'll be interesting to see who starts at right back if Reece James is not fit for that game, or if Azpilicueta will have to do some very tough double duty, I'm not sure. But we don't want to talk about the games in the future too much, we just want to talk about the game today against West Ham. So yeah, no Reece James, but hopefully we can see some appearances from Ziyech and Hudson-Odoi. We will be allowed 9 substitutions in this game, or not 9 substitutions, 9 subs on the bench. Still only 3 subs allowed. Would have been better for 5, but I suppose at least 9 does make a few more options, and it does mean that maybe there won't be so many harsh omissions like we've seen, for example, Hudson-Odoi have in the past. Hopefully he'll be able to be on the bench a lot more, maybe even start some games with obviously the poor form of some of our other players like Werner and Havertz. But talking of them, I will be getting into my predicted lineup for this game. Mendy's going to obviously be in goal. I think against Everton he did have a bit of that hiccup where he gave away that penalty. I think a bit of a lack of communication. I do think he was unlucky as well. I think against Wolves you can't really put him at fault for really either of the goals, especially, I mean the first one especially was a deflection, so that was a tough one. The second goal, I think that I can see why people maybe would be questioning him, but I do just think that all credit there has to go to Neto. I mean, unfortunately, obviously the guy who dove against us, but he did score the winner. I think Zuma did the right thing by pushing him out wide. I just think it was the combination of a perfectly placed shot with the perfect amount of power. It's like a shot that really would only go in 1 out of 10 times, and unfortunately things just worked against us that night, sort of like against Everton as well. So yeah, just 2 pretty unlucky performances, I think. I don't think we've necessarily been awful in the last 2 games, or maybe especially not defensively. I think defensively we've been pretty good, but just things have maybe gone a bit our way. Offensively though, we have not been too great. But getting into the back line, it is going to be Chilwell, Thiago Silva and Zuma keeping their places. I thought Chilwell was maybe one of our better players against Wolves. Zuma could have obviously got a goal. Again, our defence is still solid. They maybe let a few more chances through than against Everton, but I think that we were just slightly poorer on that day anyway. But Azpilicueta will be coming in at right back, obviously with the unfortunate omission of Reece James. Hopefully he will be back soon and his injury is not as serious as some people may think. But Azpilicueta will be captaining the team, which will be nice. Maybe it's a good period for this to happen, you know, when the team's a bit down, we've lost 2 games straight, you maybe need your captain there to sort of push us on to bounce back and try and get this win against West Ham. So it could work in our favour, but we will see. Going into the midfield, it is going to be N'Golo Kante, Mason Mount and Mateo Kovacic. I think Kai Havertz probably needs a rest. To be honest, it depends what tactic Lampard wants to take. Does he want to, take him out of the team and sort of send a message? Does he want to just try and let him play through it? To be honest, I wouldn't be awfully against either. I think that if Kai Havertz does start this game, I'm going to be behind him. I'm not going to be really shaking my head too much, but I do just think that he's been awful the last 2 games. Really hasn't been great since he came back from his COVID scare. I mean, he was good against Sevilla, but that's really been his only decent performance so far. So I think that maybe another time on the bench for him should be deserved, and maybe Kovacic, who's been playing quite well recently, to be fair to him, maybe deserves a spot there. But Mount and Kante keep their place. I do think this is going to be another tough game. I think West Ham are going to adopt fairly similar tactics that Everton and Wolves did, which is sit deep and try and hit on the counter. So we've really got to try and learn to work our way through that sort of deep playing style, and it's a style that we've really struggled against for quite a while now, and I think that hopefully with Ziyech and Hudson-Odoi coming back, they will be able to help us against that. But unfortunately, just because of our cautious nature when it comes to these injuries, I don't think either Ziyech or Hudson-Odoi will be starting, which means we'll see the front three of Christian Pulisic, Olivier Giroud and Timo Werner. Werner, to be honest, I don't think really deserves to start, but I just think that with the injuries he has to. Maybe after this game, if he's still poor, we'll see someone else come in. But yeah, I just don't think that Werner's been good. But I mean, this is it. This is the game where he has to turn it around, on the right-hand side of a 3, maybe it's not the right game. I think he has to be on the right and Pulisic has to be on the left. Pulisic is just a lot better on the left. And if Werner's going to be poor either way, it doesn't really matter. I mean, all of his assists so far have been from the right-hand side, so maybe it's not too bad him playing there. Maybe he'll have a little bit more freedom as well, with Azpilicueta being the right-back behind him. Maybe he'll have a bit more of a sense to stay forward, so that could potentially actually work in his favour. Giroud's up front. I think some people think that maybe Tammy could be a good option. I think Tammy plays well with both Pulisic and Werner, but I think at the end of the day, Giroud's just been scoring goals. He scored against Wolves. I think you kind of just have to keep him in. You can't really take out a guy who is still scoring, even though I do think that, maybe Tammy's been a bit hard done by the fan base because he had that one poor game against Tottenham. I think that he's been good besides that. Maybe failed to make a bit of an impact off the bench, but, it's been really just draining performances from everyone in the last 2 games, so you can't really stick it on one player. But that is going to be my lineup, guys. Hopefully we can see Pulisic tear it up on the left, but do let me know your predicted lineups down below. Let me know any team news you might have heard of that I haven't mentioned. Also, let me know your predicted scoreline, which is what I'll be getting onto. It's a tough one. Obviously, West Ham a bit of a bogey team. We didn't beat them at all last season. Declan Rice obviously facing us, someone that's been heavily linked to us. No Antonio could be beneficiary, but also West Ham have still got good results without him. It's going to be tough. They've also been a bit better defensively, I do believe, but I'm going to go for a 3-1 win to Chelsea. For the West Ham score, I'll go with someone like Souček. I think it'll be one of those scrappy, unlucky goals. Maybe even the first goal of the game, or maybe this equaliser. But yeah, I do think that we're probably a little bit lacking confidence. So maybe we're not going to keep that clean sheet. West Ham maybe have a bit more confidence, especially against us, knowing that they beat us twice last season. Maybe it will be a bit more of an interesting game. Maybe they will try and attack us a bit more if they do think they can carry on their form versus us. But I think the Chelsea scorers, I'll go with Christian Pulisic scoring 2 goals. And I'll go for Mason Mount scoring the other, why not? And I do think that if Ziyech or Hudson-Odoi come on, or if both of them come on, they will have impacts in at least 1 or 2 of the goals as well. Hopefully, anyway, that is what we see. 3-1 might be a bit ambitious because West Ham will sit back. But, hopefully if we get the first goal in the game, it will mean it opens up a bit more and allow us a bit more chances. Obviously, though, we did score first against Wolves and we saw how that turned out. So we'll see how it goes, guys. Do let me know your score predictions down below. But yeah, I mean, it's a very important game. Very crucial that we bounce back and win this, especially ahead of our game against Arsenal, which Arsenal haven't been doing too well recently, but it's going to be a London derby, it's going to be hard. And I've seen a lot of Chelsea fans say that we can't lose to Arsenal. If we do, we're finished and that. And, be careful what you say, guys, because I'm not 100% convinced that that's not going to happen. There is a thing such as football narratives, which do seem to rear their ugly head for and against us every now and again. So, yeah, hopefully we can get back to winning ways though against West Ham, and hopefully put us in a good mood going into Christmas. So I do hope you guys do have a nice day. Check out my review of this game tomorrow as well, and as always, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe. I do hope you all have a nice day, and I'll see you next time.